Hello, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Putty, and welcome back for another edition of Mid-Atlantic Wrestling. We are here for the March show. We are here for Super Showdown. It is, of course, one of the most anticipated shows of the year, clearly. One of the most anticipated shows of the year, as often something goes down, and tonight we have the second MAW Coastal Zone Tag Team match, a concept adopted from our friends in California. That is, of course, two singles matches between a tag team, between two sets, I'm really bad at explaining this concept. Two singles matches between two tag teams. If the scores are still tied after two singles matches, they have a tag team match to determine it. And this time, the tag team titles are on the line, as Cameron Jones and Sid Collier, the Dynamite Express, take on the former World Tag Team Champions, one of the most decorated tag teams in the history of American independent wrestling, Dean Waldorf, Marvelous Marv Statler, the Ring Generals. Also tonight, I'm not actually sure, I don't think anything else has been announced, but tonight, that Coastal Zone Tag Team match, plus more to be announced. Only a brief bit of news before we begin the show tonight is that American Elemental 2 has began touring Japan. He is now working for, I believe it's Black Canvas Grappling. And so Hugh has also double booked his tours this year and is working for Black Canvas as well as Pride. Hugh is very busy at the moment, which is good. It's probably a good sign he might be getting signed soon. As much as I love Hugh, I do think it is time for him to move on to bigger and better things. So I'm hoping he does get a big money contract, probably in Japan. I bet that pirate gimmick goes over really well. Pirates in Japanese wrestling always work. Not even sarcasm. I love the current popular pirate in Japan. There might be a couple. Actually, there have been a couple of aces, both in Joshi and normal and men's Japanese wrestling, have got pirate themes to them, which is kind of weird. So I guess you would go down like a charm in Japan. We're in the Meccan Coliseum. We are here. Let's get rolling as we start off the show in the interview area with Dean Waldorf and Marv Stadler as they get on the mic and they say, "Oh, I'm feeling hyped tonight. I feel like this is our night. What do you say, Dean?" And Dean just nods. Tonight is the night that marvelous Marv Stadler and deadly Dean Waldorf pick up the Mid-Atlantic Regional Tag Team Championships. You know, the Dynamite Express, we respect you a lot. We respect you so much. We've tried to fight you so much over the last 2 years. You are 4-year-long tag team champions of this brand, and we respect that, but we gotta call our shot. We're feeling good. We're feeling top of our career, and it's time for us to take home one of the only pieces of gold that we haven't had our hands on in this business. So tonight, in the Coastal Zone Tag Team title match, we will take you down. As we move into our first match of that Coastal Zone Tag Team title match, we open the show with Dean Waldorf defeating Cameron Jones with a Waldorf salad toss. Great match between these two as Cameron tries to use his power and his quickness to beat Dean Waldorf, but Dean Waldorf just manages to wear Cameron down, manages to lock in those patented submission maneuvers, manages to work a right leg maybe, work his left arm, just twist Cameron up in all sorts of knots and just get down and gritty. The gritty kind of like old school technical wrestling of Dean Waldorf. He's not like Ernest Youngman. He doesn't have that flash. He doesn't wink to the crowd, the sold out Meccan auditorium. He just gets in there. He tries to inflict some pain. He's not there. He doesn't do like quick escape technical wrestling. He's just trying to ground people down, grind out a victory, and it succeeds tonight against Cameron Jones, who has a new gimmick, which is very good. Excellent. And we move on to American Elemental getting defeated by Scythe. American Elemental, of course, has been on a bit of a run over the last year. Fantastic rookie year for American Elemental as he won the Hot Prospects tournament, as well as picking up a couple of other big victories, but he runs into the brick wall that is Scythe, who beats him with a underworld spike, big just spike to the throat of American Elemental. That quick technical wrestling mixed in with those high-flying maneuvers just gets stopped by the brutal force, the demonic power of Scythe, that big, brawling, muscly man that he is. Good stuff from both men here. And after the match, Vinny Cruz gets on the mic and he says, Scythe has been on a run lately. He's only defeated by disqualification against one of the best wrestlers in the territories. Scythe's only goal is to inflict pain, but I wouldn't mind making a bit of money off this deal. I think this is Scythe's yard now. This is his property. And it's about time he starts getting gold and money for that property. It's about time you lot start paying rent in Scythe's yard. And Kamikaze is backstage, and Bossman Brayfield says, you lost last month, but it was against George Wolf. That's a difficult match, and you came close. You had a good run, kid. I respect you for that. So I'm gonna give you another chance tonight. You're gonna take on not Ernest Youngman. You're sorry guys. Sorry if I hyped you up. It's not gonna be him. Sorry. Now the announcement is just gonna be sour because it's not Ernest Youngman. You're gonna take on the Mid-Atlantic Regional Champion, Island Boy Apollo. Big opportunity for you, biggest match of your career, and if you beat the Mid-Atlantic Regional Champion, you'll get yourself a contract. Kamikaze's starting to look a little annoyed, a little angry that he's getting these really tough matches, but he nods and he's like, you know what, I put my body on the line last month. I'm willing and ready to do it again. All I've got in my life is wrestling, and if I have to take a few concussions and a few broken bones, then I'll do it. I'll put my body on the line and I'll prove myself tonight. As we move into the second match of the Coastal Zone Tag Team Championship match, as Sid Collier cheats with a some sort of low blow. Maybe we have Marv doing his usual throws. Sid just feels out of his depth for 3 or 4 minutes as Marv just gets him with a vertical suplex, maybe a German of sorts. Sid has to take a break. He goes to the outside, maybe grabs a chair and sits on it, and he thinks. He sat there with rubbing his chin, sitting on a steel chair, and then he has an idea. And he grabs a few more chairs, as well as the one he was sitting on, and he creates a chair table. He then manages to trick Marv into, instead of hitting Sid, he hits the referee. And the ref's down, he's injured, he can't see anything, and Sid just plows Marv through the steel chairs, through the table of chairs, rolls Marv back into the ring, locks in a Texas Cloverleaf. The ref gets up and Marv is just out. He got knocked out from the steel chairs, and the ref sees that Marv is out and in a submission hold, and he calls it submission. So that's how Sid manages to take the win here. So it's 1-1 going into the finals. That is our main event of the evening. The Ring Generals versus the Dynamite Express. It is 1-1 in the Coastal Zone Tag Team match. Who will pick up the victory in our main event of the evening, as Sid Collier is turning into a machine. And it's better than his old gimmick, I'll take it. And we move into possibly the Island Boy Apollo Kamikaze match, but there might be an angle. Nope, it's the match. In a decent match, Island Boy Apollo defeats Kamikaze with an Island Driver. Kamikaze again just throws himself at Island Boy Apollo outside the ring, through the crowd. Again, teases jumping off the balcony. I think that was him last week. He might have been Stuntman, I'm not sure. But teases jumping off the balcony. That we've been here for we've been here for 3 shows here at the Meccan Auditorium, and on 2 of those shows someone has feigned to jump off the balcony. It's going to happen one of these days. But they keep brawling through the crowd. The ref loses sight of them. And so at some point, Kamikaze just picks up a monitor or something and just whacks Island Boy over the head with it. The ref doesn't see it, so he doesn't DQ Kamikaze, but it's becoming quite obvious that not only is Kamikaze willing to do whatever to his body to get a contract, he's also willing to cut those corners and cheat. So smacks Island Boy over the head with a monitor, rolls him back into the ring. But Island Boy, he's got that heart. We learned this very specifically at the Sam Keith Classic last year, where he was in there for 20 minutes against pretty much both of the Dynamite Express, and he just would not give up. No matter what, Island Boy Apollo is going to kick out at fucking 2. You got to really clobber him. You got to be like Giant Brody to keep Island Boy Apollo down with a pinfall. I'm sure you could submit him a little easier, honestly, because you just got to inflict that pain. You got to make him tap or pass out, right? But with a pinfall, he hears that ref tapping the mat, and he's like, "Fuck that! I'm getting up," because he's got that heart, he's got that passion, and he fights back. He brawls, he forearms, he kicks, and hits him with that Island Driver. And Kamikaze is beaten, and after the match, he gets on the microphone. He says, I haven't had a chance to talk since my victory for this championship, and I want to take this opportunity to say thank you all here at the Meccan Auditorium for supporting me last month. Fighting against Giant Brody as many times as I have, I know that guy, and in so many ways he really actually is almost impossible to beat. You have to be on the top of your game, and you have to have so much heart. And you can't do it alone. You cannot beat Giant Brody alone. I needed your support, and you gave it to me, and I wanted to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you, because you made a difference in that match. And he's talking to the crowd. And I wanted to say thank you for making sure that I could become one of MAW's very few two-time champions. I hope to have a longer reign this time, maybe, or a better reign, because the way it ended last time disappointed me, and the way it ended last time really stuck in my throat. So this time, you can be sure that I'm going to do my damn finest to represent this brand as an ambassador. And also tonight, I wanted to mention one more thing, because I just had a hell of a match with a guy called Kamikaze, and he doesn't have a contract here in MAW, and I think that's a bit of a shame. And Kamikaze outside the ring, like holding his neck, and Emboy says, I don't like some of your methods, kid. That was. He points to where the monitor got smashed over his head. That was beyond what I find acceptable. But you got some heart. You got some damn heart. And I watched you against George last month, and I got to see you in action very closely tonight. And it's true, you'll do anything. And I think we need more kids like you around here. And I definitely think you should get a contract. But it's not up to me. I just want to wish you the best of luck. And he heads off. And I believe we're just going to head straight. No, we have a promo before the main event. As the Dynamite Express come out, they're on the stage, and they say, we've been tag team champions now for over 4 years. Or almost 4 years. I don't like to keep count of how long we've been champion. I just like to keep count of how many times we've defended it. 15, baby. We've made 15 defenses of these this is Sid Collier, of these tag team championships. We are almost unstoppable. But you know what? One of the people that almost stopped us, one of the people that actually beat us outside of a tag team title match, was the Ring Generals. And we have to give respect where it's due. They are some of the best wrestlers we have ever competed against. They have been staples of the territorial tag team system for the last 4 years, as much as we've been staples of the Mid-Atlantic wrestling tag team scene. But you know what? They can't beat us. You know why? Because we are the Dynamite Express. We are the greatest tag team in this business, and we will do whatever it takes to make sure that this is the greatest reign in history, because it's our last one. And we've got to go out with a bang, baby. We've got to go out with a bang, otherwise what's the point? You see, the Dynamite Express is on a one-shot stop course to glory, and there aren't no stops. There's only one stop. And that final destination, that is glory, and you could be damn sure that the Ring Generals aren't going to derail the Dynamite Express, and you could be damn sure it's going to take a lot more than a little Coastal Zone Tag Team Championship match to derail Dynamite Express. So tonight, we're going to prove why we're the best. And it is time for our main event of the evening. And in the main event, is 64C-, fantastic job, living up to expectations. The Dynamite Express defeat the Ring Generals in 20 minutes and 56 seconds when Sid Collier defeated Dean Waldorf by submission with a Texas Cold after blatantly cheating. Same tactics. Like, fucking Sid Collier, light bulb lit up about 16 seconds into this match. Actually, no, before that, that is what's going to happen. But before that, I want to say that the Dynamite Express were pretty much on even footing with the Ring Generals. Cameron Jones is an unstoppable force. He is an absolutely tremendous momentum wrestler. What I mean by that is when he gets going, you cannot stop him. Deadly Dean submissions, they can't slow him down. Marv can't catch him in a throw that'll slow him down. He'll just take the bump and keep running. He will run at you and he will beat you down and he'll beat you down and he'll keep on running. Because Cameron Jones, he just has this energy. He's a fantastic athlete. And that stamina, that conditioning, he'll just keep running at you and keep hitting you with things. And the Dynamite and the Ring Generals just couldn't deal with it for a large portion of this match. Similarly, Sid Collier is a great technical wrestler. When Dean tries to wrestle him down, Sid can escape. Sid can counter. There were some great technical sequences in there for about 16 minutes. But eventually it does look to swing the Ring Generals' way. The Ring Generals are better wrestlers. There's no denying that. And Sid, a light bulb pops up in Sid's mind when he was on the apron. He gets the chair table out. Marv's like, the fuck you doing? Marv jumps off the apron, the fuck you doing? And the referee comes to have a look. And then Sid kind of backs off and heads to the other side of the ring. and Marv follows him, and the ref once again looks at Sid and Marv. Meanwhile, Cam grabs Dean and throws him through the table of chairs, while the ref is distracted with Marvin and Sid. And Cam has now... Because remember that Sid's smart ideas throughout the last 2 years, Cam usually doesn't get involved. Sid just fucking does it. Because Cam's... It's not that Cam is against cheating, it's just that's not really Cam's style, and that's what really Sid brought to the table. But now the Dynamite Express are on such a good wavelength that Cam is helping with Sid's plans. And while Sid and Marv end up distracting the referee on the other side of the ring, Cam manages to put Dean through the table of chairs, knocking Dean out. Sid sees that Cam has done it, and he smiles. He's like, I'm so proud of you, Cam. You actually went along with one of my plans. Cam smiles as well and is like, you know what, Sid? You made this possible. You take the win. Tags in Sid, distracts Marv. Sid locks in the Texas Cloverleaf, and just like what happened earlier against Marv, when the ref sees that Dean is knocked out and in a submission, he calls for the bell. And the Dynamite Express make defense number 16! 4-year reign, 16 defenses of their Mid-Atlantic tag team titles. Sensational tag team main event, but obviously a lot is afoul, as Dean is kind of like waking up now. Dean is kind of waking up, and he rolls to the ringside area and grabs the microphone and says, "You know what, you guys? You know what, I'm pissed off. I'm not going to hold it back anymore. This is the greatest rivalry in the history of territorial tag team wrestling, and you know it. We've been fighting for 3 or 4 years now, and every time we go out there, it's the best damn thing people have ever seen. I get messages the next morning saying, tag team wrestling isn't dead. The territories is where it's at, and they're right. But this isn't how it should end. I get you guys are smart. I get you guys are clever, and that was clever. It was. That was good tag team wrestling, but it was cheating. And it doesn't sit right with me. It doesn't sit right with me." And Boss Man comes out and says, "Dean, I agree with you. Something needs doing." So, next month, and I'm sure the Dynamite Express will relish the opportunity to continue the glory of their tag team reign, you're going to get your rematch. And I'm sure the Dynamite Express would want the biggest rematch that they could possibly have. So next month, you will have a tag team steel cage match for the Mid-Atlantic Regional Tag Team Championships. And the crowd is hype. The match is made next month. Meccan Auditorium, the Dynamite Express and the Ring Generals one final time inside the steel cage for the Mid-Atlantic Tag Team Championships. Which, I'm just going to check the show. I'm not going to book it. It's Americana. Oh well. It would have been nice if it was old school rules, but Americana works too. Thank you all for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please leave a thumbs up. Check out the rest of the series. Subscribe if you haven't already. If you really like the show and are feeling especially generous, go ahead and check out the link to my Patreon in the description. If you want a creative input on the series, best place to go is my Twitter. Link to that is also in the description. And next episode on Americana. The only thing announced is our steel cage main event, the Ring Generals versus the Dynamite Express for the final time. It's going to be a huge end to what is arguably the best rivalry in territorial tag team history. Now, I think I should pose this question to you guys. I haven't talked a lot about the 2013 MAW series in this series so far, because I'd like to kind of keep the two very separate. But I kind of want to make some comparisons. Now, obviously, you guys might remember that the original series was a little light on storytelling elements at times. This one is too, but that one even more so. So I'm interested in what you guys think. Do you think the Kali Dragons versus the Ring Generals from the 2013 series was a better or worse feud than the Dynamite Express versus the Ring Generals from this series? I'm just interested. Because obviously from a wrestling perspective, the first one was probably better from an in-game story, from an in-game grades perspective. The first one was pretty clearly better. But these guys have done good numbers for us, and I think that I've really enjoyed telling both of their stories over the last 2 years. So let me know what you guys think. And I hope you join me next time for the conclusion of one of my favorite tag team feuds I've managed to tell. It's up there with the Golf Warriors versus the partying Keith brothers from my US Pro Save that I did a couple of years ago. Join me for then. If you do, I'd be honored. And if you do, I will see you guys then. Peace out. Thank you for joining me.